of rugby on Wednesday. We are back for the Asia Rugby Men's Division 1 Championship. This time around is Qatar taking on India in the third place encounter at the Racecourse ground in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Welcome to all our viewers joining us from all over the world. This has been an end call in a day, and the rugby action is just about to kick off. The sun is being down, stars are different from the first day, and we are so thankful that it is sunny and hot and humid. I have Sudarshan alongside me in the commentary box with Abdullah. Guys, we are in for a sublime day of rugby, aren't we?
A terrific day of rugby coming up here at the Racecourse. A very warm welcome to all of you joining us on kickoff.com and Asia Rugby as well. And holidays will be the first day off. Just about 10 minutes off the kickoff, but all eyes here in Sri Lanka will be on that all important fight. It will be about who will take home that all-counted title, Asia Rugby Division 1 title. Abdullah, last time around it was the Sri Lankan weather being so rain, cloudy, but today currently feels like it's almost fall, although the temperature is at about 33-34 degrees. Feels like falling.
That's right, Sudarshan. I think humidity is much more as well. So, all in all, I think conditions are pretty good for teams that want to run the ball today. You can sense that Qatar is showed a bit of that when they played against the Kazakhstan in their semi-final. The Indians, on the other hand, put up a pretty flashy performance against Sri Lanka, but Sri Lanka probably just having that bit too much pedigree for the Indians to withstand.
Weather forecast from the ground is that it is extremely hot right now. It's mostly cloudy and with a bit of a wind going from left to right, you could say. But the minimum temperature, I'm sure there's no chance of us reaching that point, Sudarshan.
Well, I think that's minimum temperature already, Romario, because 16 is not a number that I've seen around even in the conditions around in Colombo. So you can be guaranteed that we will be at max temp, that's around 36, 35, 36, and also it feels like much more. So some of these bigger boys will find it a little more difficult. However, like I mentioned, because the rain hasn't made an appearance throughout the day, the underfoot conditions currently looks absolutely brilliant for running rugby, and we hope that the conditions remain the same, because running rugby is what we want to see. Crowd, of course, building up, still not in full capacity, but if we are to go by what we saw a couple of days ago, we are expecting a full stadium here at the Racecourse. Some of the Qatari supporters already here wanting to back their teams up. There is a lot of expat community, Sri Lankan expats in Qatar as well. Abdullah, we have Dara playing in the Qatari outfit as well. So there will be some local support for the men in maroon.
Yeah, that's right. Thought he did really well when he came off the bench in the last game against the Kazakh forwards. Dominated those first few rounds. So it's great to see that Sri Lankans who are living abroad are continuing to be involved in the game as well. But as you said, Sudarshan, I think we can look forward to a capacity crowd race. So just like to encourage everyone who is watching us here for this third place off to make yourself come out to the ground here and be part of what will be a tremendous atmosphere in that final between Sri Lanka and Kazakhstan.
Absolutely, because mind you, the traffic situation is not bad as well, so you have absolutely no excuse. Make your way to Racecourse, because international rugby is back in the island. International rugby is here, and Sri Lanka is proudly hosting this competition. And like you saw, these little ones, these are going to be lasting memories in their head. These will spur them to try and wear that green jersey for Sri Lanka. What we'll do now is we'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will talk to you about the teams.
Asia Rugby is more than 500,000 players, coaches, and organizers experiencing the game in this multicultural region. Established in 1968, Asia Rugby has expanded from 8 founding countries to more than 36 member unions, spanning Lebanon in the west to Guam in the east, Kazakhstan in the north, to Indonesia in the south. Home to more than half the world's population and an incredible 80% of its youth, Asia Rugby has grown from holding just one tournament every 2 years to running more than 15 international competitions each and every year, culminating in the iconic Asia Rugby Championship and the Asia Rugby 7 Series. Asia Rugby continues to grow the game through initiatives like Get Into Rugby, initiatives that have helped us expand our player base by more than 25% per year, initiatives designed to empower our kids with the knowledge and skills necessary to develop great players and inspire positive social change. Asia Rugby is a diverse collection of cultures bound together by our core values of integrity, passion, solidarity, discipline, and respect, driving our belief that rugby makes a positive contribution to people's lives. Asia Rugby is taking our great game, its spirit, and everything it stands for to over half the world's population. And we invite you to be part of it. Asia Rugby. We can do better, but together. Asia Rugby is more than 500,000 players, coaches, and organizers experiencing the game in this multicultural region. Established in 1968, Asia Rugby has expanded from 8 founding countries to more than 36 member unions, spanning Lebanon in the west to Guam in the east, Kazakhstan in the north, to Indonesia in the south. Home to more than half the world's population and an incredible 80% of its youth, Asia Rugby has grown from holding just one tournament every 2 years to running more than 15 international competitions each and every year, culminating in the iconic Asia Rugby Championship and the Asia Rugby 7 Series. Asia Rugby continues to grow the game through initiatives like Get Into Rugby, initiatives that have helped us expand our player base by more than 25% per year, initiatives designed to empower our kids with the knowledge and skills necessary to develop great players and inspire positive social change. Asia Rugby is a diverse collection of cultures bound together by our core values of integrity, passion, solidarity, discipline, and respect, driving our belief that rugby makes a positive contribution to people's lives. Asia Rugby is taking our great game, its spirit, and everything it stands for to over half the world's population. And we invite you to be part of it. Asia Rugby. We can do better, but together.
Welcome back to the live telecast as the teams make their way out. We are moments away from kickoff in the third place encounter. It will be India taking on Qatar, and both teams are lining up now for their national anthems, and then it will be game time. The final formalities before kickoff.
The two teams
So thank you. Please stand up for the national anthem of Qatar.
Both teams are now have now completed the national anthems, and we are just moments away from kickoff before they just are introduced to the dignitaries. The team lineups will be brought to you shortly, but before that, Sudarshana, I did speak to the Indian coach, and he mentioned that the team changes were made because they are expecting a bit of physicality from Qatar, because he did mention that they have seen Qatar more than Sri Lanka, and they did not know what to expect from them. So that's why the couple of changes have been made for India.
Yes, I also believe that Indians will be able to try and put up a real fight when it comes to the game. It's skill level that there will be a parity when it comes to the two teams. Qatar, of course, have a lot of skilled players, experienced players in their ranks. Will look to again take the game wide against the Indians. India, on the other hand, will do well to try and keep doing the basics. And going through some of these players' profiles, most of them are CrossFit trainers who are involved in gymnasiums as well. So while they do have that fitness in them, maybe that rugby sense is not at the same prime level as some of these players on the other team. Qatar, on the other hand, will be disappointed that they have to settle down to this game, the third place playoff, because they did beat Kazakhstan in the Division 2 finals last year, but Kazakhs managing to clinch that win in the dying embers of last game, have sealed their spot in the finals. So Qatar will be dedicated to make sure that they will win this one. But this is the Indian team that we are taking a look at. Tanwar with Bharat coming in as the number 3 and the hooker. Bokan, Shukla, Daga, Padir, Sain, Narij and Prince Khatri, who was impressive in the last game. Moves from centre to half-back. Deepak Kumar will be in that pivotal number 10 position alongside Khatri, Patil and Mohit Khatri in the centre combination. Javed Hussain comes into the team, and Abhishek Shukla and Ajit Kumar making up the playing 15 for India. Tanwar Prasad,
And the Qatar team, we can see Samuel Spencer, Wade Lotter and Nicholas Locke in the front row. Ismail El Hatami and Darshan in the lock positions. The skipper Tom Featherstone, Guillermo Villegas and Elliot Johnston to round off the run on 8 for Qatar. In the backs it will be James Phillip and the player coach James Brooks Tremaine, with the centres Johan Henry and
here's the kickoff by India. High hanging kick, but very well collected by Qatari number 2 Lotter. Qatar will want to try and slow things down, keep it close to themselves with their big set of forwards. Here's Brook trying to play for territory. They've taken a couple of leaves from that previous game that India played against Sri Lanka. They've found out that they were a little tentative at the back of the field when kicks were made. Again, kicking for territory. India letting it bounce, not looking to collect it cleanly. Brings the ball out. A little bit of tennis taking place on the field, with everybody opting to take kick, but Narij said that's not what I signed up for, and takes the ball to contact. Khatri from the base finds Johan Henry, who returns the favor. Yes, Narij back to Ajit Kumar. Johan Henry surveying his options. Goes to the big man Peter. Space for Qatar. Francis Hughes offloads, and that's going to be the first goal. Just like that. The halfback James Phillips right underneath the post. Just under 2 minutes on our clock. Qatar on the scoreboard.
Yes, well, you'd have to say that Qatar eventually prevailing in that kicking duel. Both teams just trying to gauge each other's kicking strengths, really. But one thing which seems pretty evident is there is a swirling wind, isn't it, Sudarshan and Romario? Because both teams were struggling to collect the ball on the full. They had to let it bounce on many occasions. But eventually, Qatar just deciding to launch a counter-attack and managing to find an overlap. Some good inside support, some good supporting lines, catching the Indian defense napping, and Qatar go up 5 points to nil within the first couple of minutes.
Great supporting line there by James Phillip, the halfback, running the typical halfback supporting line, as the conversion is put over by Brooks. Well, in fact, beg your pardon, it's Rakabu with the conversion, and he makes it 7 points in favor of Qatar. As we see the replay again, the fly half makes the play and gives it to the big centre as he draws and passes. Unfortunately for the Indian player Javed missed the tackle, and it was finished off by the number 9 for the first try of the game.
Good identification of space by the Qatari players. Here's again a nice good high hanging kick from India, equally well collected by Tom Featherstone, the skipper. Qatar looking to use their forwards. Kick blocked. Again a good tackle coming in from Tanwar. India will have to put in a good defensive effort and try and bog Qatar in this part of the field if they want to have a say, and they do just that. Brilliant work by the Indian defense, being keen to it. Well, the Indian team with a South African head cap. Interesting sight, and straight away, no hesitation, India wanted to go for points.
Yes, well, Their head coach is a former South African great himself, the great Nas Botha, the former Springbok fly half. So no surprises that there's a very heavy Springbok influence on the way they play this game. As we could see at the breakdown, isn't it? Even in the Sri Lankan game, they were very strong whenever Sri Lanka was slow to get at the breakdown, to try and turn ball over, slow the ruck ball. It's a great trait of South African rugby, and on this occasion they managed to get a penalty in their favor, which will be taken by their skipper Deepak Punya to get them on the scoreboard.
Punya playing against the winner, but have no problem. Flags go up. It's 3 points to 7, and that's the Indian coach appreciating his team. Good defensive efforts are always highly regarded by the coaching units, because that's when you really show your heart in the field of rugby.
Did not make best of contact on that ball, but somehow had the legs to go over.
A little wobbly, isn't it, when the ball travels from his feet, as Johan Henry restarts. Beg your pardon, Brook restarts for Qatar. India has taken the ball in. Block comes in, and that's again. Number 8, Elliot Johnston, says
great work there by the chasers, charged down, and the big number 3 Nicholas Locke at hand to finish off that try. So pretty much a gift to Qatar, and they duly oblige.
not every day, isn't it, Abdullah, that you get prop scoring of touchdown balls. So Nicholas Locke would be absolutely delighted with that. He did very well to support his man who was going for the touchdown, and he reaps the rewards.
Yes, conversion is successful, so Qatar go into a 14.3 lead. Absolutely, Sudarshan, a good lesson for all front rows, really. Always put pressure on the kicker. You may find yourself in the right position at the right time and be able to get 5 points for your team, as Locke managed to do on that occasion. But that's a real disappointment for the Indian outfit. They just got 3 points on the board. They just need to clear their line, but again, Punya just not striking the ball properly. It went very flat, no elevation whatsoever, and as a result, the kick was charged down.
A little indecision at that time by Qatar. Now India with an option either to go for a scrum or line out. Straight away they opt for the line out. No surprises there, especially given the massive weight parity in the two front forwards units. Indian line out functioned brilliantly against Sri Lanka.
Yes, indeed, Sudarshan. I was about to say that their line-out did function extremely well, and will no doubt be expecting for something similar, and it goes to the tail.
Well, throwing consistently to number 6 is no easy task, and they've done very well. Rock call. There was clear communication by referee Shankar. Again, a penalty right in front of the post. If India can keep chipping away these 3 pointers, and as big as they come, the harder they fall. So at the latter part of the second half, if India can still hold on to their conditioning, they might be able to try and chase this one down, Abdullah. So they need to make sure that they make the correct decisions in the correct areas of the field.
Absolutely, they've just got to focus on taking the game into that final quarter, isn't it? If they can be within touching distance going into those final 20 minutes, they could be in with a real chance. Punya just getting ready to take this kick. He's been pretty consistent in that first game against Sri Lanka, the couple of opportunities he did get. And this time, makes no mistake. So India moved to 6 points, courtesy their skipper. The just quickly coming back to their line-out, Sudarshan, and we're talking about the fact that they go to number 6, but the main feature of their line-out has been that very loopy throw, isn't it? It's something that Sri Lanka just didn't adjust to well enough in order to contest. So it'll be interesting to see whether Qatar have done their homework in that aspect and whether they'll be able to counter it.
Well, their loopy throw is something that Sri Lankans have struggled in the domestic circuit and also in the school circuit. We've seen time and time again that throw going all over the place. But here's India now receiving the ball. Again not releasing. This time penalty goes against them because the arriving player had all the right to that ball and India decided to hold on to it.
As once again, India just not being able to clear their lines from the kickoff. So critical once you get points on the board. Try and get into the opposition's half as soon as possible. But on that occasion, the Qatar forwards were good enough to apply pressure at the breakdown and earn themselves a penalty, which their fly half has managed to put into touch just about 10 meters away from the goal line.
So incidentally, their fly half, Brook, has played for the Chiefs development side in Waikato. He comes with great pedigree and he's the player coach. As an advantage, the arm goes out for Qatar.
India could be in trouble here. Here's Qatar looking to send the ball out wide. Rabuku steps back inside, still on his feet, makes the ball available, and Hussein from India did not have any right to be on that ball. There was penalty advantage being played in favor of Qatar, so they will go back to that.
Number 2 on the line.
The guilty party that time was Bharat from India. Qatar opting to go for a scrum here, and I can assure you Elliot Johnston, the man in that number 8 jersey, must be licking his fingers.
Yes, he will also expect his 7 men in front of him to do a job for him to make his job a little bit easier.
Fine. Set.
Qataris definitely do have a weight advantage over the Indian 8.
Quite a considerable blindside as well for the number 8 to work with, but can see all their backs lined up to the open side, and I'm sure if it comes to the 3 quarters, Brook will no doubt have a play up his sleeve.
Steady, boys. Sane.
Ball coming out this time, opted to not keep it with the forwards, but Peter Beresibi in that number 13 jersey was like a truck coming through. Beautiful running line. There was no match for the Indian defenders, who were not in any good place to try and mark him out, and Qatar just like that get their 3rd score and scores right underneath the post. Take a look at that, a little dummy, and he says thank you very much and goes right underneath the post.
Yes, well, with the momentum he was coming with, it was going to be pretty hard to stop him. So Brook makes no mistake with the conversion. But again, India paying the price for not clearing their lines from the kickoff. It's the 2nd occasion it has happened, and Qataris have made India pay. So it's an area which they will definitely need to improve going forward. But for the moment, let's have a look at that replay once again. A switch run. Indian defense caught flat-footed, you'd have to say.
Could also see Abdullah, he delayed his pass just a second, which committed the defenders, and when the man was running on with speed, there was no stopping him.
21 points to 6. If India doesn't change up something here, it's going to be a long, hot and humid game for them. Brook putting the ball up, finds Ajit. reach. Back to Ajit, who sets it up for India. Who would do well to try and play that territorial in Romario, especially given the fact they walk down now of their chasing game and they are against a bigger side. So try and avoid the contact as much as you possibly can. Now going to the corner. Will he have the legs? That's going to be a card. And India is going to be ready up. Beg your pardon, Qatar will most probably be reduced to 14 men with Francis Hughes most likely spending the next 10 in the bin. Let's try and take a look at the replay. Here's what happened. Managed to beat Basia, and that was a seat belt if there ever was one. A swinging arm at that as well. Romario slightly lucky for Hughes. He did not make direct contact on the head.
Was going low. Yeah, it's a low part of it. Yeah, it's a high tackle. Dangerous play.
It wasn't much connection.
Yeah, it's starting red.
Can see the captain just trying to have his say there, but clearly there is nothing too much to be argued there.
Ishankar was having, referee Ishankar was having none of that. He said
Time back on.
starting from red
High
there was
tackle.
no contact directly on head, which is why he's seeing yellow. Now, brilliant opportunity for India as they opt to go for touch, gain that territorial advantage of about 10 meters.
Thank you.
Take a look at this.
Here, blue, move.
Nowadays it's very difficult, isn't it? Anything above the sternum, you are going to be in trouble, Abdullah, and Hughes paid the price.
Ball!
Again, India opting to go to number 6, sets them all up and has an initial burst.
Use the ball.
Once calls the referee, the ball is out for the Indians. Can they use the numerical advantage to their favor, sending it out? Had plenty of space to run on the outside, but decided to cut back in. But eventually, a good chance wasted.
Snarridge on that occasion probably a little bit too flat to receive that pass. Needed to realign himself with a bit more depth. That was not the case, but India trying something. Have to give it to them. That driving maul, making a bit of ground, but just not managing to keep their shape. And the Qataris were good enough to spoil it as a result.
Good bit of defensive play there by Qatar to keep India 2 arms length, and somehow managed to bundle them into touch. Now Qatar will be just looking to clear their lines and just play safely for the next 10 minutes as they are 1 man down.
Going to number 4, and a lot of pressure coming in from India. India were a little excited, thinking that they managed to win that ball, but you have to support your body weight if you are going to tackle the ball, which is why India has been penalized. Qatar being a little cheeky, sucking in those extra couple of seconds, tying their shoelaces. They know they have a man in the bin. They know they are in front as well. It's not very friendly conditions here at the racecourse, despite being a country where it's hot almost throughout the year. Take a look at this pressure coming in. Was there a hand on the jumper? But this man going in had his arm on the ground. Qatar now gets the offload to Johnston, who sets it up.
Advantage, side. You can't enter the side. Advantage.
Indian challenger coming in from the side. Big strong run from Spencer. Now to Brook. Cut out. Kick pass collected. Did look like he might drop that one, Rakabu, but it's stuck, and he goes all the way for the 4th try of Qatar. 26 points to 6 with the conversion to come. Ilesa Rakabu, the man touching down for the Qataris that time, but 80% of that score needs to be written under Brook.
What a kick there by Brook. Off screen you could see him pointing his finger and pinpoint accurate, and Rakabu just added the finishing touch to it by collecting and dotting down, and Qatar just great bit of play and extends their lead further.
Top stuff from Qatar and the talismanic player coach Brook Tremaine. Was lining up the conversion. Conversion not successful, so the score will remain at 26 points to 6.
Time off.
Referee Shankar wanting to.
1 minute water break.
Yes, besides that, the conditions are a little harsh on the players, so taking a 1 minute water break. Basically, the first quarter of the game is done, so they've taken a break for hydration break you call these days, and it's very important, isn't it? Here's Darshana Dara to his friends, a local boy, very eager, walking up and down, wanting to make sure he gets a run as soon as possible. He'll be itching to go in front of his home crowd. 3 Sri Lankan referees officiating this game. Ishanka in the middle, Alexander and referee Yatavara assisting them. Ishanka Bekon, the man in the middle, Robin Alexander and Gihan Yatavara, the 2 assistant referees.
First 20 minutes dominated by Qatar, you could say. 26 points already on the board.
Time back on.
India just hanging on by the scruff of their teeth with 6 points, 2 penalties off the boot of their skipper. But if India are to get into this game, I think the next 20 minutes will be vital for them to keep Qatar without scoring any points.
This is the second quarter of the game.
Number 5.
With Sri Lanka taking on Kazakhstan in the Asian Division 1
Time back on.
final here at the Racecourse at 7 p.m. So if you are watching this game, if you can make it to Racecourse, still do have time. That's going to be dangerous, and chances are Shivan Shukla will join Hughes in the naughty chair.
Yeah. Number 10. Come here. Captain. Play in there. Yeah. Dangerous play. Yellow card open.
No chance of Shukla getting away with that. I think a bit of energy after the water break, and he just runs straight through the hooker Wade Lotter, and he finds himself sitting in the bin for the next 10 minutes.
Maybe too much energy in that water as Brook duly obliges and puts the ball to boot, goes to touch. Here's Shukla making his way out. Take a look at that, just the timing, isn't it, Abdullah? He just had to wait a half a second more until the foot hits the ground.
Qatar win the line out. Lock passes it to his center. Qatar just trying to draw the Indian defense in before going out wide.
Again, Brook has been pulling the strings for Qataris. With the territorial kick in a difficult position, Ajit Kumar with the reply, and will it go to the line? No. Save. Was it saved? No, the flag's up. That will be a 50-22 in favor of India, and that you could say is the most successful territorial advantage that they've taken in this game. And if they can keep doing more of this and try and get on the scoreboard, now it's 14 against 14. India will be hoping that they can do a little more.
Yes, well, it's not the place you want your hooker to be standing, isn't it, Sudarshana? Right at the back receiving. Being a hooker yourself, I'm sure you'll be able to relate to that.
Well, hookers are very, very versatile players and some of the most important people in your team. Abdullah, as you can see, a hooker doing his job and the halfback not doing his.
Prince Khatri on that occasion, the guilty party. Unfortunately, the line out this time did not work well for India. It went to the back and was tapped down, but the pat down to the scrum of Prince Khatri did not go to hand, and he found himself in a bit of trouble.
Little over eagerness by the Indian forwards that time. They didn't time it well, and like Abdullah mentioned, seems like Qatar have absolutely read that they are going to keep attacking that number 6.
Stay, number 9, back.
Big scrum by Qatar, but equally well responded by India. Again, the big man running in.
Run away. No.
Makes an error on the offload. India pouncing on the ball. Here's Daga into contact. India managing to hold on to possession. Can they run this? Good contact by the ball carrier that time for India. Building up a couple of faces. Tanwar taking the ball to contact. Now numbers and space for India, but decide to take the ball to contact. Narij. Again Daga. Ball available at the back for India. Use it. The call from the referee as they go to their forwards again.
Offside and in front.
Cardinal, isn't it, in front of the kicker. That time there was a decent build up for India, but unfortunately giving it away when it matters.
Yes, the problem India had there is it was all very slow, static ball at each break run, wasn't it, Sudarshana? They were not moving forward. It was all just on the gain line, and it was very slow ball. So once that happens, it's always very difficult to penetrate, as the defensive line just has enough time to realign themselves. And as a result, Punya was forced to go for the kick ahead, and his outside backs were not behind him, and as a result were penalized.
Now error from Brook as his kick doesn't find touch, and the favour returned by the Indian fullback. But now Qatar make a hash of that play. The big number 3 Nicholas Locke on the wing, and he knocks it forward. So comical passage of play there, you could say, Sudarshana.
Yes, well, just to cut in there, Romar, I don't think you'll be able to get an objective opinion from Sudarshana. Once again, you find the hooker as well as the prop at the receiving end of the kickoffs. Not the place you want your front row to be, and on that occasion, once again, proved right. So India do have an opportunity to launch another attack on the 40-meter mark. They've just got to play the positional game a bit more smartly, isn't it? Just getting bogged down in their own half far too often, giving the Qataris the chance to launch attacks.
Yes, absolutely. You're absolutely spot on, Abdullah, because Qatar now that they've gotten 26 points, have been a little wasteful, isn't it? They don't have the same focus that they started the game off with. If India can try and focus, play that territorial game, and make sure that they put pressure on Qatar, they will be able to drag themselves back into this game.
Quite unfortunate there for Qatar. They did get the shove in, but the shove was unfortunately not straight, and the referee did not like it, as he awards the penalty in the favor to the favor of India. And now Deepak, the skipper, will find a touch.
Samuel Spencer that time was the man who gave away that penalty for not shoving straight. Rugby is a game of momentum, so it's going to be important that Qatar doesn't give away that momentum to India, because if you get them kick-started, it might be tricky to try and contain them. Obviously, again, good line out for India, opting to go to the backs. Yet again, like Abdullah mentioned, static ball, isn't it? Standing starts for almost every back. That's not going to help you. You got to take the ball running. It needs to be in front of you as well. Otherwise, at the moment the ball comes to you, you've already lost, because the defensive line has come up.
As you can see, the Indian coaching staff dishing out the instructions. Probably a bit frustrated the way this first half an hour has gone in this game. They started off very well in that game against Sri Lanka. First 15 minutes they were leading 3-0, but it just hasn't been the case here today. Couple of unforced errors in their own 22 at the start of the game, conceding a couple of early tries, and from then on they've just been on the back foot continuously. To Qatar's credit, they have probably studied the way the Indians approached that game against Sri Lanka, and executing their plans quite well. Good counter drive by the Indians, but Qataris get the ball back, which is cleared by Brook. But referee
played advantage in favor of Qatar, because the entire Indian line was offside, not 5 meters from the scrum.
Brook finds a touch on this occasion. This time around does not make any mistakes, as we can see both teams tiring out. This was the scrum infringement, rather the backs infringing as the forwards scrum there. The referee had no option but blow in for the penalty. Now, terrible bit of tackling there, but the referee opting for the play, but now he's getting some instructions from the AR as time goes off.
Play in the attacker, dangerous play, just on a penalty.
And the penalty goes the way of India.
Just playing there, and that has been picked up by the assistant referee on the opposite side, referee Alexander. And India winning a penalty, and you can see both the teams with the players slowly becoming their walk, their runs are becoming a little more labored, because I can tell you from where we are sitting here in the comm box, the sun is blaring down on you. It's getting a little difficult for us to see the screens and the cards as well. So I can't begin to imagine having to be playing in the middle of the pitch. And I'm very thankful that I get to sit here as India yet again goes to number 6 and make sure that they can hold on to position, that their maul isn't tight as much as they would have liked it. Khatri gives it out, and a kick put high up. Johnston is underneath it. Here's Brooke returning the favour. And just like that, very casually dropping that ball. The coach is not going to be a happy man when he sees that. It was Joginder Singh.
Sorry, sir. I think he was trying to keep the ball in. Probably a bit unlucky. Could have let it continue. But unfortunately for India, another error costing them position. Again, India just very slow when it comes to getting quick ruck ball, not being able to generate any momentum whatsoever. We'll need to up the tempo of this game, try and move this big Qatari forwards sideways as much as possible. Just hasn't been the case so far.
Ball is available.
Good strong scrum by Qatar, and now the errors creeping in, unforced errors creeping in, and this is a lot due to the exhaustion that both these teams are feeling at the latter end of this first half.
Fatigue setting in. It's clearly visible that both sets of players are tiring, and they are tiring fast, and I'm sure they're just hoping that halftime comes quicker than usual.
Oh yeah, I can promise you the front rowers won't complain about that. And Abdullah keeps going on about front rows not being able to be in the outer channels, being a back. But Cody Taylor and some of the New Zealanders who are playing the Super Rugby will disagree, Abdullah, because outer channels have been frequented by many props and hookers, and who have scored many tries which have gone down the history books as wonderful ones, as India penalized in that scrum.
Well, it's not so much the fact that they are on the outer channels when they are playing a set play. It's more that when it comes to receiving kicks, it's the areas I just don't think you want your front row in that position. But we'll come back to that. A break from the base by Qatar. Some good work by India. Applying pressure. Looks like they managed to turn position over.
Desperate stuff from India, managing to get possession back. They understand that they need to catch up on this game. Number on the outside would have done very well to send the ball out, and then that man coming back in. Yet again winning the penalty, India, because the Qatari defenders haven't shown clear release. Bench eager, very eager to get their run in. India will be happy, Romario, if they can at least get one score, one try to try and lift their spirits up and bring their score to double figures, which will give them hope for the second half, because already we can see that both teams are finding it very difficult to play under these conditions.
Vital 5 minutes left, and if India can get a score, as you rightly said, Sudarshan, I think that will give them some energy to contest this game in the second half. So this 5 minutes before halftime is crucial, and they have set a good roll in maul, but brought down by India themselves as they go to their line now. The backs spreading the ball wide. Unfortunately knocked back by the number 29 Ajit Kumar, but by the looks of it they have gone into touch, and yet another opportunity goes begging.
Yes, again it's all very lateral from the Indian backs, isn't it, Romario? There was just no forward momentum whatsoever. They probably needed to create a phase midfield before they went out wide. It's far too easy for the Qatari defense to read that play, and as a result they were bundled out on the left flank.
Unfortunately no one straightening the line for them, and that is crucial, and it does not help their cause, as there seems to be a bit of an injury, you could say. Yes, Wade Lotter receiving a bit of a treatment, and would say he's just taking a short breather by falling on the floor.
They really can't complain, is it? It's very, very harsh conditions here.
What out? What out?
India will be quite disappointed with that wasteful attack. They were in quite good position on the field. Sent the ball out wide, and unfortunately the ball just trickling out as yet another penalty considered this time by India. The player being played in the air as he was up to collect the line out, thrown in by Wade Lotter.
You can see the effect of this humidity taking its impact on both teams. The decision making just not as clear as it should be. Errors creeping in from both sides. See some of the heavier Qatari forwards just seem to be wilting at this stage itself. So if India can just hang in there, retain possession, create a few phases, get these big Qatari forwards moving around, they could reap the benefits of that during the last 30 minutes of this game.
Kara this time making hash of the line out, losing the ball. So India managing to pounce on that. Will they be able to find their first try before the half time? Good strong carry by the Indian ball carrier Singh. Yes, Narij. Again penalized for hands inside that ruck, and Brooke Tremaine on the floor. Seems like he's gotten hit on his chest. Not supporting the whatever it is, the call from referee. Qatar will have to keep a lid on this because they've conceded penalties in the ruck time and time again. Clearly his hands on the floor supporting his body weight, which is why they've been penalized.
Yes, it had a bit of everything, isn't it? Hands on the ground, body on the opposite player, and knees on the ground as well. Don't think referee Abekon with a more difficult decision to make. On that occasion, that loopy throw not working out. Probably for the first time in this tournament, it's been a very handy tactic for the Indians. But on that occasion, just throw going astray. So it'll be a scrum in favor of Qatar. As you can see, the crowd slowly but surely building up here in anticipation for that big final today.
Now the scrum in favor of Qatar. James Phillips to feed. The big number 8, Elliott, gives it off to Johan as he takes and straightens the line. Now James Phillips to Brooke in the pocket. Doesn't think twice, puts a boot to ball, but unfortunately taken back into the 22. And one final chance, you could say, for India in this first half, as the line out is inside the Qatar 22.
So many chances in the past 20 plus minutes for India. They haven't made use of any. Will they be able to get their first try of this game? We will have to wait and see as they ready the line out. No prizes for guessing where they will go to this time. I think the hooker was expecting the number 6 jumper as usual, but the jumper had decided to move up to number 5. Qatar looking to finish this half strong. Keeping it steady, keeping it close to each other.
Yeah, already released. Go. No, your ball is available.
Here's Tremaine with a little bit of a chip kick. Finds Hughes. Spent 10 minutes in the brain, so he'll be fresher than most. Hughes had a support line coming in from his player, but India have managed to pounce on that ball. Knocked back, says the referee, so it's okay for them to continue playing, but Qatar have pounced on this. Big forwards.
Back, go back. Offside. Penalty advantage.
Offside, penalty advantage in favor of the Qataris. Here's the big number 12, Johan Henry.
Offside.
Looked like he'd go all the way, but penalty coming in favor of Qatar. 40 minutes up on our clock. But the referee will see this one through, and I'm sure most of the Qatari players will be pointing at the post.
Yes, they are pointing at the post, and you can see bodies all over the field on their haunches as Brooke Tremaine has the final duty in this first half to knock over the penalty.
Yes, it is interesting that soon as the penalty was awarded to the Qatari team, it was the hooker Wade Lotter who pointed towards the post. So pretty clear what kind of fatigue that's setting into these players. It's very humid.
Also, Abdullah, despite being a team coming from the GCC where it's very, very hot and humid, all these players do their practices, they play their games late in the day. Too over-eager that time, Ajit Kumar. Now they will not be able to charge on to that ball. You need to make sure that you're on the line.
It's in fact a
And
penalty.
it's a penalty. I beg your pardon, it's a penalty. You cannot charge on to a penalty. It's only a conversion that you can charge.
Moment of brain freeze, you could say there, as Brooke Tremaine.
I don't know about freezing, Abdullah. It must be all the melting that's happening with the humidity and the hot sun, and that's not successful by Tremaine. I don't think Qatar will mind too much. They'll be delighted at the fact that it's come to an end and they can take a little bit of a breather. End of the first half, scores remain at 26 points, 2-6. And a little bit of a chit-chat with the referee, wanting to clear out something that happened during first half. But dominant display by Qatar in the first half puts them in a very comfortable position, and India has a lot of work to do in the second.
India will have a mountain to climb as the score confirmation for that first half. Qatar leading comprehensively 26 points to 6. India just a couple of penalties off for the boot of the skipper. But Qatar managed some beautiful tries in that first half. Qatar will no doubt be looking to cement their position in this second half as we see the highlights from the first half. Teams ran in and they had a sublime game. India kicked things off, but it was Qatar who managed the first try. Brooks gave it to the big centre as he broke the line and offloaded it off to Paul Stewart. He found James Phillips on the inside run, and the little scrum half dotted down under the post to open the scoring for Qatar. India drew back through a penalty off the boot of Deepak Kumar, their skipper, but moments later Qatar managed their second try through their big prop forward Nicholas Locke, charged down and scored. Deepak managed his second penalty, but that was all for India as the half was dominated by Qatar. Brooks dropped it short to Bear CB as he went over. A yellow card went the way of Francis Hughes as he was sent to the bin, but Qatar dominated, and they ended the half with points off the boot of Brook as he put in a lovely cross kick to find Rakabu. India too was an Indian player too was sent to the bin, but Qatar dominated that first half, 26-6. We will go in for a short commercial break and be back with second half action on the other side.
Asia Rugby is more than 500,000 players, coaches, and organizers experiencing the game in this multicultural region. Established in 1968, Asia Rugby has expanded from 8 founding countries to more than 36 member unions, spanning Lebanon in the west to Guam in the east, Kazakhstan in the north, to Indonesia in the south. Home to more than half the world's population and an incredible 80% of its youth, Asia Rugby has grown from holding just one tournament every 2 years to running more than 15 international competitions each and every year, culminating in the iconic Asia Rugby Championship and the Asia Rugby 7 Series. Asia Rugby continues to grow the game through initiatives like Get Into Rugby, initiatives that have helped us expand our player base by more than 25% per year, initiatives designed to empower our kids with the knowledge and skills necessary to develop great players and inspire positive social change. Asia Rugby is a diverse collection of cultures bound together by our core values of integrity, passion, solidarity, discipline, and respect, driving our belief that rugby makes a positive contribution to people's lives. Asia Rugby is taking our great game, its spirit, and everything it stands for to over half the world's population. And we invite you to be part of it. Asia Rugby. We can do better, but together.
Our world is growing, and so is rugby. There are more players, more teams, more matches than ever before. Luckily, our game is simple. We only really need one thing to play it, and we buy millions of them every year. Unfortunately, too many end up in the wrong place. But some balls are made better. Rhino's recycled range is made with up to 80% recycled rubber. We are still not perfect, but it's a step in the right direction. You only need a ball, make it a good one. For rugby, for you, for the planet.
A ball for the planet.
A ball for the planet.
A ball for the planet.
The Rhino recycled range. A ball for the planet.
Asia Rugby is more than 500,000 players, coaches, and organizers experiencing the game in this multicultural region. Established in 1968, Asia Rugby has expanded from 8 founding countries to more than 36 member unions, spanning Lebanon in the west to Guam in the east, Kazakhstan in the north, to Indonesia in the south. Home to more than half the world's population and an incredible 80% of its youth, Asia Rugby has grown from holding just one tournament every 2 years to running more than 15 international competitions each and every year, culminating in the iconic Asia Rugby Championship and the Asia Rugby 7 Series. Asia Rugby continues to grow the game through initiatives like Get Into Rugby, initiatives that have helped us expand our player base by more than 25% per year, initiatives designed to empower our kids with the knowledge and skills necessary to develop great players and inspire positive social change. Asia Rugby is a diverse collection of cultures bound together by our core values of integrity, passion, solidarity, discipline, and respect, driving our belief that rugby makes a positive contribution to people's lives. Asia Rugby is taking our great game, its spirit, and everything it stands for to over half the world's population. And we invite you to be part of it. Asia Rugby. We can do better, but together.
Welcome back to the second half of this third place game between Qatar and India. Qatar dominating the first half, scoring 26 points, and India just managing a couple of penalties off the boot of their skipper. As we are in readiness for the second half, kicked off by Brook, collected by the open side flank and Jogendra Singh, as Khatri gives it to his forwards. keeping the ball close. Got Abdullah alongside me in the commentary box with Sudarshana. This time Khatri making a break. Couple of men, but he manages to step aside the support. Unfortunately, the ball dropped by Javed, turned over. A great opportunity goes begging there, Sudarshana.
Well, just as the second half started, golden opportunity for India. They're going to be absolutely disappointed. Great work done by Prince Khatri. But all undone with that butterfingers.
Really unfortunate for India. Just the start they would have wanted at the beginning of the half. Wonderful break, but again, just the ball handling skills letting them down. Be interesting to see what kind of tactical changes we'll see in this second half. Sure, the Indian coach Nasbota would have had a few strong words to his charges. They were off to a pretty slow start in that first half. Sure, they'll need an increase in tempo, in intensity for them to get back in this game.
They will no doubt need great support from their forwards as this time a penalty goes the way of Qatar. The cross kick though by Brooks. By Brook rather, not finding space, and the referee having no option but going back for the penalty. Says that the binding was incorrect by the forwards.
Yes, on that occasion the Qatar is finally getting some reward for a very good scrum. The Indian front row unable to withstand the pressure and as a result conceding a penalty. So India have had a couple of opportunities but just haven't been good enough to put the finishing touches. That's probably why they find themselves down on the scoreboard by such a big margin. Just the 6 points off the boot of their skipper Deepak Punya to show for.
Now Wade. Elliot Johnston somehow manages to tap the ball on the side of Qatar as Phillips. Big number 7 playing as the first receiver. Now to the line. Here goes the big ball carriers. Now Rakabu puts on some lovely footwork. Beats 1, beats 2. Is brought down. Support follows. Now Johnston looks and gives it off to his big ball carrier Darshan as Qatar sets things up. The big centre puts on some footwork but is brought down well by the Indian defence. Phillips sends it to the line and lovely short ball by skipper Brook, but rather fly half Brook, but the Indian defence up to it, and the open side flanker, well in fact the loose head prop in the number 24 jumper Manu Tanwar jackals and wins the penalty for India.
Yes, brilliant technique there by Tanwar. He showed the clear release to the referee before he pounced on the ball. So referee Abe Kohn was in no doubt that Tanwar had all rights to the ball. Have a look at that once again. Qatar is again going out wide with static ball. Tanwar, can see him showing the release clearly and then going for the ball. Brilliant technique.
Great stuff. Just exactly what the coaches would like to see in India. Getting that territorial advantage through that penalty. Good line out to the backs. Trying to set that up. Khatri goes in again. The errors creeping through. Khatri still on ground. Referee Abe Kohn stopping play because it's dangerous to continue with a man so close to the action. Seems to have hurt himself. The crowd's enjoying the action here at the racecourse, slowly filling up the stadium. It's open gates here at the racecourse. A little wave for the camera, yes. Lovely to see families coming in to watch the action unfold here at the racecourse.
It's come. Yeah. Number 2. Yeah, so.
A young ball boy just taking a bit of shade.
He does not know that he's on the large screen. Oh, now he realized that he's on the screen. Okay, let me look a little presentable, he says. And gets up, yes. We won't think too bad on you, son. We know it's difficult out in the hot sun.
Yes, but what a wonderful experience for these young ball boys and ball girls, isn't it? They are able to just be right on the side of the pitch, see firsthand the intensity of international rugby, what it's all about.
Yeah.
So another hold up in play as one of the Indian players are being attended to.
The players will be quite grateful for the break that they have in this hot sun, but now the referee says, come on lads, let's get on with play. By the looks of it, it will be a Qatar scrum inside their own half. Phillips preparing to feed the scrum. 2 backs on the short side, but the referee says that the player went early and the big number 8 takes it and goes quick. Elliot Johnston sets things up for Qatar. Now Phillips looks to the open side but goes the blind. Rakubu beats a couple of men and wriggles his way onto the floor. Phillips barking instructions. The big number 17 Joseph De Silva coming onto the field, as now Brook sends it out far to his big outside centre. They keep it down the line. Here is the number 14 Francis Hughes. He sets things up. Brook stationary but gives it off to his big prop forward Spencer as he takes it up into contact. A massive chant of offside goes by the attackers, but the referee says no, play on. Elliot Johnston deputizing, but his fellow forwards take the ball up into contact. A great counter-ruck coming in by India as they turn things over, and the referee says that it was a good counter-ruck and the man on the wrong side needs to roll out of that place, but he did not. So the penalty goes the way of India.
I should have to say Elliot Johnson can consider himself pretty lucky. That was cynical at best. Indian forwards did brilliantly to counter-ruck and just held on to the ball when he realized that India was going to run away with that.
Now the skipper Deepak Kumar puts it into touch. Inside the 22 of Qatar, India with an opportunity as we see the replay there, Abdullah.
Yes, you can very clearly see Indian forwards did brilliantly, and that was just a stray hand in there.
Very cynical, isn't it? Like you mentioned, Abdullah, absolutely cynical, and very lucky to still be on the field. And India have matched up considerably and reasonably well when it comes to the set plays. What they need to make sure is to try and keep their momentum when it comes to open play. If they can cut down on the unforced errors, they'll be able to try and make use of the opportunities coming your way, because 26-6 has been the score for some time now as Qatar managed to pounce on that ball on the line out.
This time, unfortunately for India, their line out not working. Bharat unable to hit the jumper as a knock-on goes the way of India.
Well, if the production team can try and give us a shot of the sky, there is a massive cloud at the moment covering the sun. If we have any opportunity of trying to pause that cloud right there, I think the players and a lot of us will be very, very grateful.
Plenty of stoppages in this game as India making a couple of changes.
That big cloud on to the left of your screen is what we are talking about, which is covering the sun at the moment.
The changes, beg your pardon, Sudarshan, the changes though seem to be okay. Well, they seem to be happening now as Bharat makes way for Pradeep Tanwa, and a few more changes by the Indian team. Still, everyone's trying to figure out who is going out and who is going to come in.
Front rows themselves. So that's what the referee is trying to clarify.
Yes,
Get the message across.
you got to make sure that there are 6 registered front row players on your match day 23, and only players who have been specifically trained as front rowers can play in that position, because it's a very, very technical area of the game. Player safety is of paramount importance in the game. New set of front rowers. How will this scrum pan out?
Set, steady.
Good strong scrum by Qatar, but India managing to hold on to it, backpedaling though. Now they've gotten it under control. Good carry forward by the Indian ball carrier, Tanveer. India opting to keep it close to the fringes. Coupling up, snaking on that ball carrier. Samuel Spencer needed to get away and does so. Now inside the 22 meters. India. Deepak Kumar with the carry. Still keeping it close to each other. Opts to go on the shorter side now. Tackler did not release the ball.
Penalty advantage.
High tackle, penalty advantage in favor of India, who opts to put the ball to boot. Still available for India, so referee will play advantage, but have now deemed that there was no advantage. Number 8 from Qatar, Johnston, the guilty party.
They are getting front football, getting over the gain line, but unfortunately, once they do get over the gain line, it becomes pretty slow, the delivery from the base. Once they get over that first line of defense, it's imperative that they try and speed the pace up a bit more without giving time for the opposition to realign in defense.
Yes, after the advantage came, this was the following passage of play. Abdullah, it's also a point to mention that Sukumar Hembrom, the player who played scrum half against Sri Lanka, has made his way into the field So he'll be slotting in at outside centre as here goes India through their big ball carriers, keeping the ball close to the fringes. The line you can see is the try line, so they are just 5 to 6 meters out from the Qatar try line. The big number 10 Shukla carries it, and an advantage is coming the way of India. So great passage of play. Now India dominating. Here goes Shukla to the skipper, and now Hembroom. He puts on some footwork. Unfortunately does not straighten the line, but the number 27 he does Sa, but a slight knock on at the breakdown. The referee, by the looks of it, there seems to be a head shot.
Well, very enterprising passage of play for India, but then I believe I thought the line was a little too deep, didn't get momentum. They were passing back, and it's never a good thing in the rugby field if you keep doing that, because what you want to do is you need to try and get forward momentum as much as you possibly can.
Number 7, number 2.
It's a good passage of play for India. They're asking a lot of questions from the Qatari defense. And that was high hit. Qatar's outside center.
Penalty. Offside. Yeah, don't do that again. It's last warning.
So referee will probably go back for the penalty advantage that he was playing. It's really important that India gets something out of this passage of play. They've done all the hard work. They put the Qatari defense under a lot of stress. Just need to make sure that they have something to show for it on the scoreboard.
An extended passage of play for India inside the Qatar 22. Now the skipper, Punia, puts it into touch, and the India line out will set up 5 meters away from the Qatar line.
Very, very important passage of play as Qatar is ready up. A few more substitutions to come into the field of play. Extremely important line out. What will India do? What will Qatar do as India go to number 6? Not looking to set that one up, gives it back just short of the line. Reached up, and that's going to be the score. First try for India in this game, and comes through Pradeep Tanwar, who touches down for India. That will breathe a lot of energy to this Indian team. 11 points to 26 with the conversion to come. Can they keep doing this? Can they keep hitting Qatar? Because remember, rugby is a game of momentum, and Qatar haven't had that fluidity since they scored their 4th try. So India would be looking to try and capitalize on this. Very good move. Everybody was expecting India rather, to try and set up that maul, but it was a quick offload from the line out, and the Indian ball carrier Tanwar, knowing exactly where the line was, he's afforded one move to reach out for the line, and he does just that, getting India's opening score. Here's a chance for the skipper to add 2 more, and he does just that. 13 points to 26. India needs to try and climb up 13 points more.
It's wonderful awareness by the Indian prop forward as well. Shows the importance of fresh legs as we have a look at that replay once again. Again, very well executed line out. As you very correctly pointed out, Sudarshana, Qatar is probably expecting the driving maul, but Indian forwards had other ideas, and wonderful awareness by Tanwar. Hit the deck, but just saw the line in front of him, reached over and placed it. So India with the first score, conversion successful, and we have a game on our hand.
Brook restarts proceedings. Unfortunately, Daga unable to secure the ball and knocks things on. This has been the story of this game, Sudarshan, hasn't it?
How many times have we seen this, Romario? Every time you score, that's when teams are most vulnerable, isn't it? You need to keep your focus. India decided to maul that, and it was a good decision, but couldn't keep hold of the ball. Difficult conditions. You can see the Qatari forwards not relishing the heat, finding it a little difficult. So India needs to make sure that they capitalize on this. Change of wheels for the halfback. Brooke Tremaine not very happy with how things have been going for the Qatari outfit. He'll be hoping that he can spark something up here at Racecourse. This second half, they've been largely silent.
Coach.
Now an opportunity for Qatar inside the Indian half. Can they get their first score in this second half and put pressure on India? Here's Brooke sending it out to Hughes, who's come back and joined the line on the open side. Hands on the ground, quickly taken by Qatar via Rakabu. Not 10 meters and coming from the side. That's going to be dangerous. Making no attempt to go 10 meters. Harwin the string sent to the bin, and chances are Qatar might opt to get the tee out here.
There's a couple of indiscretions by the Indian defense. First, not retreating 10 meters before making the tackle. As we have a look at that replay once again, none of those Indian players were back 10 meters. And the second indiscretion was the player coming right from the side and taking out the scrum half. So India probably a bit lucky not to find two players in the sin bin.
Time on.
Yes, absolutely. No hesitation from Qatar. They'll go for 3 to increase the lead to 16. Right in front of the post should be a piece of cake for Brooke Tremaine. No problem, 3, okay, so that's 29 points in favor of the lads in white. And Abdullah, I think India needs to try and take that little shift where they try to put the ball high up, because Qatar are staring at the sun, and it's not going to be very easy to try and feel the ball under facing the sun.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, Sudarshan, another area that they've really let themselves down is receiving the kickoff. Even after scoring that try, again faltering at the kickoff and giving Qatar the opportunity to get some points on the board.
Good high-hanging kick, equally well collected by the Qatar forwards, setting things up. Again, a penalty in favor of Qatar, not rolling away was the Indian tackler who was on the wrong side of the ball, Sanjit Patel.
The Indians just need to keep their composure here. You just sense that the Qatari forwards are tiring a lot. That's why just about 15 meters away from the try line, they decided to go to the post despite leading 29 points to 13. So if India can just maintain their discipline, cut out their errors, no reason why they cannot narrow the gap. This fatigue is definitely setting in to this Qatari team.
A converted try, Abdullah, like you said, will make it 20 points to 29, and that can really said the cat amongst the pigeons as Qatar looked to run. Hughes cutting back inside. Rakabu coming around, is not able to collect the ball cleanly. This is going to add to the fatigue. Most of the backs also now with their hands on their hips on both the sides. Take a look at this. Hughes comes back inside and the pass to Rakabu was a little high. Rakabu also did not attempt to put both hands on that ball. More errors in handling will lead to more scrums. That means more exhaustions. Romario forwards are not going to be very pleased.
Indeed, and the sun too is baking down here at the Racecourse grounds as Mohit Khatri takes it into contact. Now Prince Khatri rather, in the number 11 jumper. Clears things away, but the Qatar players unfortunately falling on the wrong side. It's the big Hamza side was the guilty party. Skipper Qatar just having a word to his teammates as Brooke Tremaine. This is the replay. See that Shivam Shukla took the ball into contact, but the Qatar players just fallen on the wrong side, Abdullah.
Yeah, again Qatar is showing fatigue setting in. It's an opportunity for India to pounce. Just need to maintain their discipline, cut out those unwanted errors. Again going to the back, but the throw was definitely not straight. So referee Abekon, there's no hesitation, but or rather no option but to award a scrum for the Qataris. So these are the kind of unforced errors that have let India down thus far in this game. So we have a look at that replay once again. So lack of communication as well. Probably it was not meant to go to the number 5 at the line out.
I think the early jump by Qatar really unsettled the hooker that time, the thrower rather. Come 61 minutes on our clock, inching close to this final quarter of this game. 29 points to 13. If India can try and get a score here, that will really breathe life to this game as good pressure comes in from India. But Qatar managing to secure that ball. Coming through the middle was Peter. Qatar looking to run from their 22 meters. It's getting very physical here as the players crash on each other. Seems like he's hurt himself that time. It's the Qatari center seems to have hurt his shoulder. I think it was friendly fire, Romario. The man coming to clear that ball crashed onto the shoulder.
He seems to be in quite a bit of strife on the floor there.
It's a big unit that landed on that shoulder. Like we mentioned, numbers filling up here at the Racecourse. Plenty of fans on the sidelines. Yes, now they've realize that they are on the large screen. Asia Rugby officials who are doing a stellar job in putting up this tournament alongside Sri Lanka Rugby, who've done a wonderful job in ushering international rugby back to the country. Lovely to see the youngsters making their way, enjoying this competition, being able to watch international players compete in their own backyard.
Yes, it looks like a pretty serious injury concern for the Qatari outside centre. It's probably one of his teammates that ran onto him.
Really do hope that it's not as bad as it looks, and believe it's the fullback Rugby who's gotten hit there. He's able to walk off the field, but will not play any more part in this game. Here's what happened from another angle. Lovely to see families coming in and enjoying the game. This is where the itch for the oval shaped ball game is going to be introduced to the younger bunch, which will hopefully translate into representation in the old age groups, which will lead ultimately to national dominance. Sri Lanka taking on Kazakhstan in the final of Asia Rugby Division 1 Championship at 7 o'clock today here at the Racecourse. Please make your way here. It's a weekend. What more can you ask for? International rugby here in our own backyard, as we look at the third place player of India in battle with Qatar. Qatar currently in control of this game, but India is not too far away. Qatar inside their 22 meters. Here's Brooke opting to kick, was charged down. Luckily for Qatar, the ball remains in their possession. Physical stuff happening in around the fringes with the forwards going at each other. Big carry by Hassan. Brooke to Hamza, who tucks it in for Qatar. Here's Tom Featherstone, goes into contact, and India is guilty of not releasing the man. Gives away a penalty.
Again, India just letting themselves down with a bit of ill discipline. Managed to contain the Qataris in their own half. Crowd slowly but surely building up.
The team of Save the Planet, who's partnered with Sri Lanka Rugby to help the cause of reforestation and planting a tree for each try Sri Lanka scores.
Lovely.
A lovely gesture. And more trees will try and ease out this heat that we are experiencing currently. As Qatar on the move. Here's Rakabu to Hughes. Hughes has one man to beat. Cutbacks inside. Gets away from the tackler, trying to make the ball available. Have lost it forward. India with possession now. Referee Shankar decides that there was no advantage, so scrum in favor of India.
It's just coming back to that CSR project initiated by Sri Lanka Rugby. I believe it's a tree for a try is what they call it. Wonderful initiative, and seen online a lot of people getting behind that as well.
Time off.
So rugby for a cause.
Okay. Time on. Crouch.
Yes,
Bye.
these are absolutely important to the environment, and it's a core fabric of the stability, as the fatigue clearly showing, and the Qatari forwards not shoving straight, going up. Was the call from referee Ishankar. India. That's unforgivable, isn't it? When you have an opportunity, just kicking into the van, not finding touch. Here's Rakabu putting the ball high up, good up and under. Not collected cleanly by India, and Qatar pounce on that opportunity. Pass to no man, and India have lost the ball forward, so it will come back to a scrum in favor of Qatar as we close in on the final 10 minutes of this third place playoff. 29 points to 13 in favor of Qatar.
Yes, the way this game has gone, India will definitely rule those first 20 minutes, wasn't it, Sudarshan? It's probably then and there where they lost this game. Do understand there's yet a few minutes to go, but 29 points to 13, uphill task. It's just those first 20 minutes where they conceded about 3 tries that is left them chasing the game in this stage, as the Qataris launching a counter-attack, and looks like it will be their blindside flanker, or rather the scrum half, James Phillips, will be putting the finishing touches to that move. It was actually a good scrum by the Indian team, the ball just shot out, and Qatari loose forward was good enough to pick it up and hand over to his nippy scrum half to put the finishing touches. The Indians will be once again desperately disappointed.
Colombo being privy to the fact that ball jump out and then offloads to James Phillips. Says thank you very much, I'll try and get my name on the scoreboard as well. Finds himself in the shorter side with acres of space. 34 points to 13 with the conversion to come as we inch closer to the final 10 minutes of the game. Change of kickers as Rakabu has taken on the responsibility from Jermaine.
Number 12, white number 12.
Good connection and had the direction, but fell short of the distance. Here's what happened. It was a good scrum from India. Hooker doing a very good work, but not managing to hold it close. And Phillips benefiting from the awareness of Guillemot. 34 points to 13, and safe to say that Qatar has now pretty much secured the spot as number 3. As Tremaine puts ball to boot, collected by Hussein. Dropped goal by India. Now it's a foot race.
Yes! Let's go!
Indian player had nothing but to kick the ball out there. Not something that you see too often in the game.
It's just a few butterfingers there by the Indian backs. Being pinned right on their 5-meter line. Can be very frustrating for the forwards.
Johnston can't believe it. Absolutely can't believe it. I am chasing that down, mate. You can't just kick it away, he says. But opportunity for Qatar. Here's Zaid. Feeding the ball. Johnston breaks from on the short side. But holding on to that ball, being isolated. Opportunity for India now to try and get out of jail into the 72nd minute of the game.
Yeah, number 2, go back.
So that's a good touch finder by the Indian skipper. As we have a look at that replay once again. Some good work by the Indian forward.
Go back.
It
Back
was
10 meters,
Suresh
back.
Kumar. India have been pretty good at the breakdown.
Yeah.
Not been afraid to contest that area of the game. Another good line out by them as well. Just trying something different, but the Qatari defense is up to it. Again, switching sides, going on the short side.
Numbers, boys, numbers!
This is much better by India.
Yes, hands down!
Identifying areas where there is a bit of space.
Yes, the ball!
Offside.
Numbers, boys, numbers!
Taking the ball out wide. They have men out wide. Wonderful break. Supporting runners is crucial, but wonderful tap tackle. But Qatar is penalized. Illegal play at that breakdown.
You can't.
This is a bit more of what India needed to do. So often when they got over the first line of defense, they just went and slowed the ball down previously. But on this occasion, just kept that momentum going and identified the space out wide. Running much straighter lines as well.
Brilliant run that time by Mohit Khatri. And like you mentioned, this is what India needed to do. It's just that they struggled with continuation, Abdullah. They couldn't make sure that they had a good continuation, and that's really hassled them.
Number 19, sorry. Yeah.
It's just that little bit of lack of rugby nuances, isn't it, Sudarshana? Yet pretty new to this game. It'll be better for this experience, no doubt. They haven't been afraid to put their bodies on the line. You have to give that to them, even in the game against Sri Lanka.
Time back on.
Yes, absolutely, because India, I think that as a nation, as a sporting nation, are very, very strong when it comes to sports in the likes of kabaddi and wrestling, and those are sports that you can really mix it up with rugby, isn't it, Abdullah? And if you can get younger players who are proficient in those kind of skills joining rugby and getting that exposure, they will be a team to take note of in the Asian circuit.
Yeah, numbers,
Absolutely, the transfer of skills from those sports will definitely have its benefits to the game of rugby. But for the moment, India with an opportunity to add a little bit of respectability to the scoreline. Again, that loopy throw to the number 6 this time, very well executed. Strong run.
You're going off it. Offside, penalty advantage.
Good by Qatar, and offside. And I think that was placed.
Time off.
Referee Abekon
Time
has
off.
called a call to play. He'll probably consult his assistant referee, but from our side that looked good, Sudarshana.
If it was not short, I think that was scored, but the penalty is coming India way. Referee Abekon will consult his assistant referee. Let's try and take a look at the replay. The referees don't have that luxury.
Number 7.
Did look like it was a tad bit
White
short.
White 11.
Goes to it
I told you. 15 offside. It's yellow.
from Qatar. Seems like he'll play no further part in this game. Sent to the bench for the next 10 minutes. No try is the call. It has been found short. But India, can they get a score and make it respectable? Loses the ball forward. It's not going to help your cause if you're going to just keep losing possession.
Yes, it's a coach killer if ever there was one. Sure, Naspota will be tearing his hair off with whatever little bit he has on him. But another lost opportunity for India. It's just done a lot of hard work to get themselves in certain positions, but just not having the finishing ability to put the finishing touches to those moves.
Fine. Set.
Another opportunity for Qatar to clear their lines.
Stay number 9. Blue number 9, stay. Blue number 9.
Small break. Creating another phase. Qatar look like they're going to try and run themselves out of this predicament. And then they struggle to have numbers at the breakdown, and India quick to pounce on that.
Great awareness there by India. Now needed the supporting players. Offside, says the referee. Penalty advantage in favor of India. Long cut out pass to the corner, cuts back inside. One man to beat, and that's going to be the second try for India. Comes through Wallab Patel for India. 18 points to 34 with the conversion to come. This gives them a lot of respectability. Abdullah, 20 points or 18 points to 34 reads much better than languishing in those single digits. Good long cutout pass by the skipper. Cuts back inside. One man to beat. Gets away from them as well. Patel scores the second try for India. Opportunity now for skipper Deepak Punia to add in the extras and make it 20 points to 14. 4 minutes to go. Can India do the unthinkable? Yes, 20 it is. So 14-point game here at Racecourse. Have India left things a little too late, Abdullah? We will have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's right. But again, just coming back to that try, well deserved for India. They've asked a lot of questions of this Qatari defense, just letting themselves down at crucial moments, but not on this occasion. A lovely cutout pass by the Indian skipper and playmaker Deepak Punia, who found Patel on that right flank, who used some good footwork to get by a couple of Qatari defenders to go under the post.
Qatar with the restart. India need to focus. Now they're playing with a little spring in their step. That time Marij. Offside. Penalty advantage in favor of India, who are showcasing newfound energy, looking to take it quickly, but they will reassess. Just over 2 minutes on our clock.
Number 13.
India needs 2 converted tries to take this game to extra time. Deepak opting to go for touch, and that has been their trusted weapon.
Time off.
Lovely show and go that time from India. Couple of more fresh legs to come in.
Wait.
Let's go, Qatar, let's go! No,
Take it.
victory!
Time back off.
Work Hamza!
India this time opting to go for a 5-man line out. Goes to number 2. Here's Deepak. Finds Khatri. Sets it up. Oh, inside ball. Lovely bit of. Where was that all this time? As India rally around each other.
Offside.
Kumar taking the ball to contact. Numbers on the outside, and India will get another. And just like that, getting that third try through Neeraj. Suddenly, it's 25 points to 34. Where was this intensity all this game, you would wonder. And India will be ruining the missed chances all along this second half. Abdullah Nareed, rather, the try scorer, wearing the number 32 jumper, getting the score. Now India 9 points adrift with the conversion to come. Can the Indian skipper make it a 7-point game with this conversion?
Absolutely a brilliant passage of play, identifying space on the short side, and some wonderful passing skills as well by the Indians. They just kept their running line straight. Punya with the attempted conversion, not successful, and that will be the final play of this game. What an ending it has been. Those last 15 minutes, Sudarshana, was probably the best passage of this third place playoff. Qatar is eventually prevailing, 34 points to 25, but word of praise for India. They definitely put up a wonderful performance. It's just you have to go back again to that first half. This first 20 minutes is probably what let themselves down. Qatar is eventually hanging on to secure third place, but there's no doubt that Nasbota and his Chargers will be pretty pleased with the way they completed this game. But nonetheless, Qatar doing just enough in that first half to emerge as victors.
Absolutely spot on, Abdullah. 20 points to 0 was how the first 20 minutes went, but come the second half, it was 19 points to 8 in favor of India. So you clearly saw how that first 20 minutes came into play when Romario went and spoke to Tarinder Ratwat at the end of the first game, semi-final against India, when Sri Lanka played them. Tarinder said, we knew they were going to come at us hard in the opening exchanges. We wanted to thwart that storm and make sure that we hit them hard. But it's the same thing Qatar did to India here. First 20 minutes, they knew they were the hefty team. They are going to be fatigued at the latter part of the game, so they wanted to score as many points as they possibly can in that first 20. India doing themselves no favors after conceding all those points. The unforced errors and so many botched opportunities, making them wonder that short flight to back home from Colombo. What if 34 points to 25 is how this game ended? A brilliant affair where Qatar becomes the victors and the holders of the third place. And kudos to India, because that's what rugby is all about. When it looks like you're down and out of the game, the heart that you keep on battling out up until the final whistle, Abdullah, is why all of us are in love with this game.
Absolutely. And just at the start of this tournament, there was a lot of inquisitiveness about Indian rugby amongst the Sri Lankan rugby community as well, wasn't it? So there was a lot of excitement that Sri Lanka were going to play India at Rugby. The crowds turned up to watch. There was a lot of talk about it leading up into that game. Sri Lanka managed to relatively comfortably put away India, but just in those 20 minutes of this game, Sudarshan, it showed what they are capable of in the future, and I'm sure with a bit more exposure at this level, they will only get better.
Well, they don't have to travel too far to try and get a little more exposure. They can try and come across the pond and play quite a bit of rugby here in Sri Lanka with the Sri Lankan national team. It will be beneficial for both the teams. As we take a look at the highlights of the second half, India getting that try. Tanwar was the try scorer, knowing exactly where the try line was. He managed to make sure that his team were the ones who were going to go away with points. 3 points came through the boot of the Qatari skipper. And this was a poacher's try where India managed to outhook that ball, but Gilmore was privy to that, and halfback James Phillips touching down for Qatar. They'll be very thankful for that 8 points, because if not, this could have been a very, very nervier finish. India thought that they had gotten a score, but they were found a little short. But from the ensuing penalty, good work by Patil, who benefited from that long cutout pass from the Indian skipper. Touching down for India, breathing life into this game. They also managed to score through Nareed on the far side. The Indian skipper not managing to get the extras, but that was a consolation try for the Indian outfit. That's the conclusion of the third place playoff here at Asia Rugby Division 1 Championship, as the Asia Rugby flag is up. Our good friend Romario is on the field, and he will be chatting to the winning skipper or a representative from Qatar. Over to you, Roma.
I've got the Qatar skipper with me, Tom Featherstone. Tom, first of all, congratulations on the victory. How was it like playing in scorching conditions here in Colombo?
Yeah, it's really, it was really tough out there. I would have to say that's probably some of the toughest conditions I've played out there. Don't get me wrong, we like dry conditions compared to the game against Kazakhstan, but yeah, it's really something else out there today.
India posted some sort of a threat, and even in the last few exchanges we saw them coming hard at you. What did you expect from India, and what sort of challenge did they come up with?
Credit to India. Hey, we dominated the first half, and then yeah, maybe the first sort of 10-20 minutes in the second half, and then we took the foot off the gas, and credit to India, they took advantage of that and really came at us. They threw everything at us at the end, but we're just lucky to come away with the win, and I'm really proud of the boys for digging in and holding out.
Finally, Tom, where to from here? Now, what's next for Qatar after they finished third in this Asia Rugby Men's Division 1 Championship?
Like I've said for a while now, hey, we've been doing this for 14 years now. The nation's been going on rugby, and I feel that we're finally at a level where we deserve to be. Division 1 is a good place for us, and I think we come back next year. Same division, that's our plan, and we aim to do better. If not, maybe try and go up. That's our next goal, that's our next target.
All right, Tom, all the best with this win. Congratulations, and hope to see you soon back in Sri Lanka maybe.
Thank you very much, and credit to everyone that organised Asia Rugby, Sri Lankan Rugby Federation, and all my boys. They put in a really good effort. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thanks, Tom, and that was Tom Featherstone, the skipper of Qatar. They managed to defeat India and finish third in this championship. Now I go back to the commentary box where Sudarshan is to round things off for the papare.com.
Thank you very much, Romar. So, the skipper of the Qatari outfit having a word with Romario. He must be thrilled at the fact that his team managed to get across the line. The key stats of the game: Qatar 34 points to India's 25. 5 tries for Qatar, and 4 of that coming in the first 20. 3 converted with a penalty to go, and India scoring 3 tries, 2 converted with 2 penalties. Came ever so close, looked like the team to beat in the last 20, but left too much to do in the last embers of the game. Well, that's it from us here at the papare.com in the third place game, but do not go anywhere because we have an absolute thriller coming your way at 6:45 of same place as we bring you the final, the grand finale of Asia Rugby Division 1 Championship. Sri Lanka, the host team, taking on Kazakhstan. If you are around, if you can get here, and most of you who are around Colombo will be able to get here within the next 45 minutes. So do make your way to Racecourse because it's open gates. It's going to be absolutely wonderful and incredible international rugby for you dished out at Racecourse. Make your way to the Racecourse and support both the teams who will be dishing out some incredible stuff. But for the time being, we are going to wrap up and we will be back with you at 6:45.